Hi everybody, it's Carrie from Fertile Body Yoga. Thanks for joining me today. Today's class we will be working on cultivating patience in the framework of the 2-week wait. And I know that the 2-week wait can be an often difficult time. It is full of the what ifs and should I's and shouldn't I's. I know that for myself personally, I was often, especially after an embryo transfer, I was often in a state of unknowing what was appropriate during this time, other than the doctors saying, take it easy for a couple days. So this class, we will be moving through some nice, really slow movement. We want to bring some energy into the pelvic area because we don't want the energy to get stagnant. So some gentle movement is indicated. So I hope that you will join me today and work on cultivating some patience during this 2-week wait. All right, so we're gonna start lying down on our backs. So if you have some props that you wanna grab, some blankets or bolsters or towels or pillows, blocks, you can go ahead and grab those. And then once you have everything that you need, we're gonna work our way onto our backs. So maybe rolling to the side and straightening the spine and the back out on the floor. And we'll keep the knees bent here and the soles of the feet on the ground, and maybe even bring the knees together and pigeon toe the feet together. And then if it feels right for you to close your eyes, you can go ahead and close your eyes. And then the hands here, if it works for you, bringing them to the lower abdominal area. And so these first few breaths, we're allowing ourselves just to settle in to this idea that we are moving into a yoga practice. We tune into the breath, noticing the quality of the breath and how deep it may be, or maybe it's shallow today. But wherever it is, know that it's okay to be where you are. And the next breath that you take in, try and let the breath travel all the way down to your hands. So you feel it come into the lungs, open up, expand, and make space, and maybe feel a little bit of movement in the lower abdominals. And then as you exhale, you feel everything soften, the air release out. And we'll do that 2 more times. So inhaling through the nose, filling up the lungs, feel the expansion, feel the lower stomach, gently push into the hands, and as you exhale, you feel the lower abdomen kind of retreat from the hands. And then 1 more breath, inhale. And exhale. Straighten the feet out, bring the knees together, roll to your side. Use your hands to support you to come on up. And we'll start today seated, and we'll do a little bit of movement through the upper body. So if you want to sit on something, a block or a blanket, you can go ahead and do so. I'll just sit on a block here. And you can sit cross-legged or even on your knees. So as the hands come down onto the knees, the thighs, feel the weight of the shoulders drop away from your ears as you bring the chin to the chest. Starting to activate that line all the way down the back. Feeling the spine, the tailbone. Taking a little bit of movement here with the neck, left to right, right to left. And knowing that you are in charge here of your movement. So I'll guide you to certain places, and if it doesn't feel right for you, I encourage you to really listen to your body, yourself. So in the spirit of cultivating patience today, we're going to take our movement rather slowly. We're going to keep focused on the breath and move extremely mindfully between our poses. So the next time your chin is at your chest, just hang out there for one cycle of breath, inhaling, exhaling, and then inhale, lifting the gaze, lifting the chin, and maybe opening the eyes and having a soft gaze in front of you. Hands will come down next to the hips, and we inhale, we bring them up overhead. Interlace the fingers, press the palms up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, we round the upper back, we bring the chin into the chest, and we push the hands forward. And then we inhale to rise up, and exhale, chin to chest. One more time as we inhale, taking it slowly, and exhale, chin to chest. And then inhale, bring both arms up, and relax the hands back down next to the side. Find the floor with the fingers of your right hand. Extend the left fingers up towards the ceiling. And first look for space through the left side as you ground down through the left hip. And then extend those fingers overhead, and then sweep the arm forward just until it's about in line with the middle, and then we'll sweep the arm back. So we open up maybe gently towards the ceiling and exhale, sweeping, and then inhale, opening. So let's do one more like that as we sweep the hand forward and sweep the hand back. Open up the chest, take a little swivel towards the ceiling. Pause here. Breathe in patience. And exhale in patience. You might have the urge that you want to just move on to the next pose or the next side, but stay here. Breathe. Notice the sensations in the body. And then as you exhale, let's take one big sweep across. Let the right hand follow, left hand comes down. And then we'll move into the same thing on this side. So fingertips of the left hand down to the floor, right fingers to the ceiling, grounding down through the right hip. As you extend the fingers over, looking for the space through the side body. And then as you exhale, a little round of the upper back as the arm sweeps forward. And then the arm sweeps back as you inhale. And exhale, sweeping, and inhale. Opening, exhale, big sweep. And inhale. Let's do one more. Reaching forward, a little sweep. And then we come into a more open-chested spinning towards the ceiling expression of this pose. Keep breathing and stay with it. Close the eyes and feel all the sensations that you're getting through the body. Let's take one more breath in, and then exhale. Looking forward, sweeping the arm, bringing it back to center. So we'll come now onto the hands and knees. And your blocks you'll want to keep handy, close by, that we'll use in a second. So here, if you'd prefer to have some padding under the knees, then go ahead and take your blanket or towel and place it there. We'll bring the hands down to the floor, about shoulder distance apart. Good. And then close the eyes, let the head hang. And maybe the shoulders slump a little bit. That's okay. And then push your hands into the floor. And here we're going to start with a little movement of the pelvis, just shifting side to side. And again, the head can be wherever you want it to be. It can be down, it can be neutral spine. The eyes can be closed. And with the closed eyes, this just allows us to go a little deeper inside our bodies. But of course, always feel welcome to keep the eyes open. So with the swaying of the hips, you may start to feel like your body would like to go in a certain direction, right? It's inspired, it wants to move. So go ahead and let the hips travel wherever they'd like to go. And of course, keeping everything very gentle, keeping breath as the focus. And every inhale you take, bringing in a sense of patience and calm, and as you exhale, letting everything release that may be making you feel impatient. And spending another 20 or so seconds exploring this pose. And then find your neutral spine in your tabletop position. We're going to take the left foot kickstanded out to the side. And if your wrists are a little sensitive, you can definitely use a block for this. We're going to extend, come onto the side, into a supported side plank here. And a little bit of tone just to keep ourselves centered and not too wishy-washy through the center of the body. But nothing too strong, nothing too strong at all. So we bring the right arm up towards the ceiling. And this is very similar to what we were doing on the floor when we were seated, sort of with the sweeping arm as it comes forward. And then inhale as we open up. And you may find that being on the knee just gives you a little bit more space to express this pose. So let's do this last one as we come up. And again, we're going to open the chest, maybe swivel up towards the ceiling. Holding. Maybe look down to the floor to save your neck. Noticing what may be coming up for you when you find yourself in a pose and you're not moving directly out of it. And then latch on to any feeling of letting go, that you don't have to move on to something else. You can just stay here and be with it. One more breath in. Then reaching over the head, I'm going to bring the hand down. You can move the block out of the way. And then we'll just switch to the other side. I'll turn myself around. So this time the right leg kickstands, left leg straightens. And if you used a block on the other side, you can use it on this side. And then extend the arm up and then over the head. A little bit of engagement here, just to keep us steady as we sweep the arm forward and then sweep the arm back overhead. And then exhale and inhale. Sweeping. And one more time, reaching. And then arm comes back up overhead. And we hold and we breathe. Feeling again all that breath moving into the stomach, down. Not being in a rush to move, but feeling that little bit of freedom that it's okay to just be as you are in this moment. Breath in, exhale, bring the hands down. And then with keeping the hips up high in the air, we're going to come down onto the forearms. This is called polar bear. And then extend the arms forward. You'll let the heart drop down towards the ground. And for some, having a block here is really nice. So you can put a block underneath your head or use a bolster. This is called Anahatasana. This is the pose for the heart chakra. So the heart is really dropping down. One more breath in. Breath out. One more breath in. Breath out. And then walk the hands back under the shoulders, knees back under the hips. I'll just turn myself back around to this side. We're going to plant the hands down. We're moving to downward facing dog. So the toes tuck. The hands are shoulder distance apart. And then go ahead and let the heels start to move up and down. We're going to stay in this downward dog for a few more breaths. Just noticing when you hit that spot where you're like, I think I really need to move. Take one more breath past that and and say to yourself, there's no rush. I'll move in a moment. And then let's walk the feet forward and the hands back until you find yourself in a bit of a forward fold here, and the knees can be bent deeply. The hand relaxes down. Keep the knees bent and slowly roll up to standing. Close your eyes, feel the earth beneath your feet. Notice the weight of your shoulders dropping down away from your ears. Notice how it feels to breathe when you're standing. And then opening the eyes. Let's bring the hands at the heart. I'm going to step the left foot forward. We'll bring the right foot back. And here we're in a warrior one stance. So generally, feet are on, like you're on train tracks, or you're cross-country skiing and you have like those tracks that you kind of work through. So about hip distance apart. And then the back toes turn in so that the hips are going towards center. So as you exhale, just take a nice gentle bend into that front left knee. And then we inhale, we bring the arms up overhead. And then let's bring the left arm left arm under the right and move into eagle arms here. And you can definitely just hold on to the shoulders if finding this position causes a little bit too much sensation for you. So you decide where you need to be. And again, we'll hold this for a few breaths. And as you're holding, you feel the earth beneath your feet. Right, so push your feet down into the earth. You feel the muscles of your leg hugging the bone. You feel some opening through the right side of the hip flexors, the front of the body. Move your focus to the shoulders and the spread at the back. And then maybe your arms and your wrists, your fingers also have some sensation. Stick with it for one more breath, inhaling, exhaling, and then bring the arms up overhead and interlace your hands behind your back and straighten your front leg. And then we'll turn the feet to the long side of the mat, so turning towards your right. And your feet here are in a wide leg stance, toes are pointing forward. We're going to bend the knees, so your hands are still interlaced behind you, and as you bend your knees, hinge from the hips. Bring yourself down, maybe the arms go up overhead. And again, we're going to stay here for a moment or two. And knowing that at any time releasing the arms is an option. If you're finding it too much of a sensation. If you can relax the head, go ahead and do so. Again, staying just 1 or 2 breath cycles past that urge to move, that urge to just do something. So just stay. One more breath, inhale and exhale. Yeah, let's bend the knees deeply here, and you can turn the toes slightly out to the side. So this is, or release your arms if you haven't already. Bring them down to the floor or up on blocks. I'm going to turn the toes out to the side and just lunge to the right, bend the right knee, and then lunge to the left, bend the left knee. And rocking back and forth. Just a couple times, adding movement. But if you would prefer to be still, you want to hang out on one side because it feels good here, stay there. And then take it to the other side. Then find your center. Bend the knees deeply so you're coming into quite a big squat. Bring your hands to your knees and then push down. Bring the arms up overhead. And then we'll move to our warrior one on the other side. So this time the right toe is moving forward. We need to rearrange our feet. So hip distance or so apart. Hips, chest facing forward, bending the front knee into our warrior one. Arm come up overhead. And then exhale. This time the right arm goes under the left, either holding the shoulders or bringing the arms to eagle. Relax the shoulders away from the ears, lift the elbows, thumbs away from the face. And again, we'll walk through staying present, noticing the sensations in the body. This time we'll start from the top. Hands, elbows, shoulders, left hip flexors, muscles of the legs hugging the bones. Feel the earth beneath your feet. Push your feet into the ground. Bring your arms up overhead. Interlace your hands behind your back and straighten your front leg. And then again, we'll turn to the side of the mat. We'll do one more forward fold with the toes pointing forward. We won't hang out quite as long. We'll let the hands come overhead. Take a breath in and a breath out. Then release the hands. We're going to heel toe the feet in so they're not quite so wide. Let the hips shift side to side. Turn this time to the left and lower to your right knee and then your left knee. We'll shift here onto the right hip, and we're going to come back down onto our backs just for one last final little meditation and a little bit of restorative. So for about 5 minutes. And I know you may be tempted to skip this part because I know we get very centered on like, let's do the physical, let's do the movement, but all the magic happens in the restorative, in the resting posture, in the stillness. So I really encourage you to incorporate some of this into your practice. So we'll come on to the back. You can move the blanket, keep the blanket, totally up to you. We're going to come back exactly into how we started. So knees bent, soles of the feet on the floor. Knock the knees together, pigeon toe the toes. You may like a little weight on the pelvis here, nice and gentle, nothing too much. Like a double blanket or a pillow. And then the arms can head out to the side or land on the lower stomach. Under the blanket is fine too. Keep the eyes closed. Or if you'd like to have them open, that's fine too. Let's see if you can soften or blur your gaze slightly. So then imagining the center of your body. Where would that be? From front to back, side to side, top to bottom? Chances are you landed somewhere in the pelvic region. And then if you could divide that spot and make it a little smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until you're left something like just the size of a little seed deep in your pelvis. And maybe you've attached a color to this. Maybe not. Maybe it's white. Notice that there is, or could be, a energetic spark. This is your true center. And then imagine when you breathe in, that little seed lights up and expands and sends light further away, filling up more of the pelvis. And then as you exhale, all that light returns down back to that true center. And we'll do that for a little while. Every inhale sending that light further to the body. So eventually, you're filling up to the shoulders and the knees, always returning to the center. Inhaling, maybe to the wrists and the ankles and the neck. And exhale, return to center. And then the next time, feel your body fill up from the crown of the head to the tips of the fingers, the tips of the toes. And exhale, return to center. Continuing like this for the next couple minutes. 3 more breaths. Inhaling, filling up, and exhale, traveling back to center. Now moving very slowly, and feel free to stay longer if you'd like to. That could only benefit your body, your mind. But if you're ready to move, slowly rolling onto one side. And as you roll, you can take a moment just to pause. And then using your arms to support you, come up to a seated pose. Let's bring a hand to the heart and a hand to the pelvis. We inhale together. Exhale, let the chin fall to the chest. May you take your yoga off the mat and into the world today. Like me honors the light in you. Thank you.